difference, one cup at a time. Yeah, this is tea time. Yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time, time.
Well, welcome. We are back for the final show of today's Thursday, May 4th. May the force be with you. That's right, May 4th. So if you don't know about May 4th, you need to Google it. You need to do some research and all that good stuff. But tonight I have a duel in the house. I have two guests. That's right, the incredible Texan duel with the Enigma series. I hope I'm saying it right. If not, they can come in and tell me how to say it. But I really want to just bring different to the table with Tea Time. So tonight I'm joined with two incredible guests. But before we get started, we're going to do all the disclaimer and all that good stuff and bios. And then we're going to get Rox Burkey in here and Charles Breakfield. That's right. We're going to have a good, strong cup of tea. And I'm going to have two teas served tonight, not just one. So grab your cup of tea, grab your beer, grab your wine, grab whatever you like. Because it ain't about the beverage. It's about the people that come on Tea Time. So the disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz, myself, is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time show hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith. However, may bring forth dialogue and opinions that are not representative of my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participants are responsible for using their good judgment in taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussions for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It is significant to know that this show is engaging in forms only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutical advice. If you have any questions about the disclaimer or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact me, Miss Liz, through my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in tonight's show in any aspect, I myself, Miss Liz, welcomes you. And should you decide that the show is not made for you at this time, I respect those wishes and I will see you at a later show at a later date and time. And again, all Tea Times are done on Thursday this year unless they are rescheduled, then it's a Monday and Tuesday. So let me get these incredible guests in here because they're sitting in the background and they're just ready to come and serve you a good cup of strong tea. But before we even get them in here, we're going to give you a little bit on who they are. So Charles Breakfield is a technology expert in security, networking, voice, and anything digital. He enjoys writing, studying World War II history, travel, and culture exchanges. Charles is a fan of wine tasting, winemaking, Harley riding, cooking, extravagance, and woodworking. Now let me get to Rox. Rox Burkey is a technology professional who excels at optimizing technology and business investments. She works with customers all over the world, focusing on an optimized customer experience. Rox writes white paper and documentaries. I'm not saying that right, but found she has a marked preference for writing fiction. Together, these two Texan authors created award-winning stories that resonate with males and females, as well as young and experienced adults. They bring a fresh new view to technology possibilities today in exciting stories. Visiting their website for more information and stuff. Now, let me get them in here so I can sip some tea and I can sit back and relax a little. So, let me get Roxanne in here and then let me get Charles in here. Welcome, guys.
Howdy.
It is an honor to have you guys here.
Mm.
So, give me a little bit on who you are, and I'm going to start with Roxanne, and then I'm going to jump into you, Charles.
So I truly am a technology expert. I mean, I've been in technology many, many years. And actually, that's the whole reason that we ever started the Enigma series. So for your guests that maybe don't know what the Enigma machine is, it was used during World War II to actually encode military plans that the Germans were doing. And of course, code breakers took care of that. And, the rest is, as they say, history. So we take small elements of technology threats, and that's how we build our large books and sometimes the backstories, like the one that's featured tonight, Liz.
Yeah, because you guys have a new book that we're going to get into. So I think that's where I got the romance from, was the new book.
Yeah.
So Charles, tell us a little bit on who you are.
I'm. It's been one of those kind of days where I've been highly controversial. So I just want to make sure that I do full disclosure to you, Miss Liz. I try to be congenial and agreeable on most topics, but when we get into the technology and the storytelling, I tend to be well, Roxanne has to throttle me back sometimes. I'll just full disclosure here. Yeah, I can be overamped. I can be highly animated, arms waving. You know, it's been known that she's had me darted with a elephant gun to make sure that I get calmed down enough to be able to be on some a program such as this.
Well, I think we all need that one person, right, that pulls us back sometimes. I can get pretty tempted, and my hands go waving too when I get into something that I'm very passionate about. So don't hold back. You guys, this is your time. This is your tea time. It's about shining you and who you are as individuals. So let's get into why we're here tonight. We're here for a new book. You had the series, but you have a new book called Fears, Tears, or Cheers. So tell us a little bit about that book.
So I'll start it off and I'll let Charles add to it. So one of the things we decided to do, Liz, was take main characters from our novels and kind of tell a little bit of backstory about them. And so we created an array of short stories that really do just that. And the characters in this story, well, Charles, tell Liz about those characters.
Well, and you do understand that sometimes when we're crafting a story, we using our patent pending technique of literary ping pong, we batter the stories back and forth, and sometimes the characters don't. They talk to us, of course, but they tell us probably more than what we can pack into a standard novel, and so a lot of times we'll extract that extra information and put it into a backstory that gives us a chance to be able to dissect, amplify, and explore. How and why they're the way they are, and it helps to bring the character. That gives them that extra dimension in the book that you don't want to take the time from the novel and the story that we've crafted away, going down a rabbit hole. But that's okay to be able to do that in a short story because it's relevant and enticing. It gives you that extra spice to be able to say, oh, now I understand a little bit about them. I understand that they're in love, but they have these failings, these doubts. These how do I get them to that? I need to know more about them, and so that's why the short stories are big the way they are.
So I was a little bit on board with the mystery romance. It's just a little technology romance.
Well, let's just say one of the main characters in that particular book is a technologist as well.
Oh, well, tell us a little bit about that, Roxanne.
So one of the main characters in there is called JJ Rodriguez, and he is a twin, but he actually belongs to the family of the R group. And the R group are the main good guys in the big novels. And so he is a technologist. He's, been fighting the cyber thugs for a long time, but he falls for this absolutely gorgeous young lady who happens to be supermodel material. And so she's a famous supermodel.
But she has a past that is we need to explore that to be able to give you the failings, the self-doubts, no matter how gorgeous you are, no matter how famous you are, somebody somewhere is really tired of putting up with your crap. Okay, and so that's it's important to be able to dig into those the personal issues rather than just the things that you see on screen.
And
Well,
so,
I think we need those kind of stories out there, right? We need to say enough of your crap.
well, and Joe has some personal, I guess I would say elephants on her shoulders that she needs to figure out how to deal with. And with every person out there, there are things that some people can get help from others to alleviate. And sometimes you have to get that help within your own heart or within your own mind. And that's really what this story talks about, is how fears are faced.
So how did you guys get the title?
Well, she has fears and she has tears, but maybe there's cheers if she does it right.
Oh, I like how you flowed that.
Is that how we did that? That's wow. Even I'm impressed because I didn't know that. How cool is that?
She's got a few tricks up her sleeve there, Charles.
Yes. And she's the one person you don't want to do rock, paper, scissors competition against. She always wins. And if it comes down to that, I'd say, okay, fine. There's no point in doing the competition because we already know the outcome.
So we have a question here. How did you guys get into writing together?
Do you want to talk about my parole, Roxanne? I mean, that's fine. No? Okay. All right.
Just go right into it, Charles.
Just flow right in.
All right.
And make a mess.
All right. She and I have worked together for enough years to not be, we don't want to categorize it and give you the bracketing on that, but enough years that in the technology business as consultants. And so we were dispatched here, work for this company, XYZ, and go consult with these people and tell them what's wrong. Tell them, analyze it. That's what we do best. We analyze technology and look for the what's wrong with this picture kind of discussions. The net result of that is that we have to write a white paper or a capitalization of here's all the stuff that we saw. Here's what we think you can do to be able to fix that, and here's how it will make things better. And so with that expertise, we've taken that a step, maybe a quantum leap, maybe a small step. I won't argue the semantics, but it's become here's how we digest what we read and what we consume as technologists in the workplace. Here's the stuff that comes through. It comes through as an avalanche. It comes through as a tsunami. Here's the artificial intelligence. How does that relate to everything that we're doing? How is this benefit and how is this a menace? And so we dissect those kind of topics with the same kind of zeal that we had with companies that said, what's wrong with my company's picture? Why is it broken? We think there's something wrong, but we need a fresh pair of eyes, and that's a lot of what we do. That's what we've done, and it's just served us well from a storytelling standpoint.
So essentially, technology is kind of boring to a lot of people. They don't want to know the bits and bytes behind why we are on StreamYard and having this wonderful video conversation. They don't want to know why, sometimes on videos, things crackle in and crackle out. So we decided that though we are knowledgeable in technology because of who we have worked for, we need to have it entertaining. And so we decided a long time ago to take an element of technology that's relevant to everybody and create a story around it, a fictional story. And so that's really how we got started in this series. So, we took the technology white paper that we presented to all the CEOs and went, no, we want to have fun with this. And we can, the best part about thrillers and fiction and all of that is what, Charles? What's the best part?
The best part, we get to throw on our imaginations, and well, dare I say it, we get to pull in the people that really ticked us off over our careers, and we whack them. I mean, they just we buried more people on our pages than you will ever have the chance to be able to eliminate. Unless, of course, you're a field commander and you've got 1,000 people behind you saying, "Okay, let's go ahead and take this hill." So that's us. Storytelling.
I like
technology.
that, Charles. I like it. Just whack them. It's like pulling everybody together and saying, like, enough of this crap. Like, let's just, and you can do that with storytelling, right? When you're writing, you can say, you know what, you can create these characters, and you know who that character reminds you of, and and maybe hopefully when they read the book, they can say, oh, is that what they really think?
Well, and that's how Roxanne pulled me into this, because we were doing white papers and we did some technical manuals, and they were, as soon as we got finished with the first one, the second one, they were out of date. And I stomped off, gathered up my marbles, said, I don't want to play anymore, and went home and sulked. And she said, let's take a different approach. Let's use some fiction to be able to tell the story. And we bake in the technical facts. And I went, okay, I'm listening. No. And then that's when she got the clincher. She goes, and we can whack people and not go to jail.
I love it. And I love how you guys flow together, because I can see the connection on how you came together to write. The flow is really nice, Roxanne is there, I'm going to whack them, and you're with the marbles, and she's coming and getting you, like I see a lot of deep work done together and that. And you had mentioned symptomatic, and I believe that was Roxanne's word that she gave me to describe herself as an individual. So I want to get into that, Roxanne. Why that word?
And I'm sorry, I didn't hear the word, Liz. Try again. I missed it.
The word was symptomatic.
Symptomatic or systematic?
Systematic. Big difference, right? Okay, you can whack me.
Oh, no. You're going to be one of our femme fatale heroes in the next book. So, it's a very planned way that we approach stories, because we do co-author, and we co-author from different locations. And, so it's kind of odd from how most people approach storytelling. And so, we kind of plan out the technology problem, the beginning, some of the characters that are going to be in there, and then we kind of outline the first maybe, chapters or several little areas that we want to focus on, and we each write different portions of it, and then we blend it together. So That's one of the systematic things is we blend it together so it sounds like a single voice. And so, our primary editor is Charles's wife. And so if she comes to him and she says, okay, who wrote this chapter? Or who wrote this section? And Charles invariably will answer, yeah. We're not going to tell her. If she can't tell, then we did it right.
That's the important piece for storytelling. It can't be, there can't be a distraction for the reader saying, oh, they've changed voices. This is what's his name, or this is or what's her widget. No, it has to be fluid. It has to be single voiced. It has to be, let me tell you a story and not be distracting by the different voices that so we spend a lot of time polishing, and that's where we get the the back and forth. Okay, here's a chapter, you smith it, the character smithing, back and forth until it's polished, until you can't tell who wrote it. That's the ambition, and that's the end game for us. The
Well, I think that's
storytelling.
really good storytelling too, when you can't tell who wrote it, right?
Correct, yeah.
Hopefully.
That's the ambition, yeah.
Because you get some storytellers who you're like, oh, okay, I think maybe that person wrote it. And then that, when you get to the point where you're like, I
Yeah.
don't know who wrote it. Who wrote it? Was it Rox or was it Charles?
Well,
That's
and then that gets in the way of the story, as far as
Right.
I'm concerned. Yeah, it's like, no, we want you to have the best possible reading experience or audible experience, because we got this terrific voice actor narrating our books, because it's like not us. I mean, we're not nearly as good as him. Yeah, Derek Scholes is the our ambassador for the audibles that we use.
So do you want to see the series made into a movie? Or
oh, from your
Your
mouth
turn.
to God's
Yeah.
ears. I'm so on board with that. You going to help us with that, Miss Liz? I mean,
oh, you never know who's watching Tea Time. There's doors and people that knock on my door, and I'm like, what? Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
you can reach out to my guests. Like, absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. We're what a great segue to and thank you for that shameless advertisement applause for us to be able to say absolutely, positively, yes, love to be able to talk to somebody about turning this into a series.
so we actually went down a trail, Miss Liz, of creating a screenplay out of the prequel to the series that we released in 22, called Out of Poland, which is the prequel to the big series. And we continually shop it to find someone who would like to, take advantage of having a screenplay, even if they want to change it. But it was a good exercise. It was eye-opening for us because the ability to write a story, fiction or nonfiction, is far different than trying to stage out a screenplay of some sort.
Yeah, agreed. That was it was a fun exercise, but um, the best advice we got was like, keep writing. Don't be a screenplay writer. There are people who do that professionally, and what this is good stuff. Give us the material that goes into a screenplay. So we've kind of taken that advice to heart and say, okay, all right, point taken.
Well, you guys are on Tea Time, and Miss Liz does different. And I tell everyone, my audience and my viewers out there, if you believe that you can do it, just do it. A lot of people sometimes will put that block and that barrier in front of us, but we have to just push it over and say, you know what? We did it. We tried it. We did it.
That's right.
If you don't try, you don't know. And I think that's where a lot of people, they put their dreams and their goals on the side because of other people's opinions or other people. When we come with different, they're like, oh, I don't know, let's just keep it to the professionals. Well, you know what, we're all professionals in our own way. We all serve in a different way. So
Yeah.
that's Miss Liz does different. So all my viewers know that, all my listeners know that. If you want different, come to the Tea Time, because that's what you're going to get. Now I want to get into your word, philomath. Charles, I had to actually look up that word, because I didn't understand what that word meant.
Um,
Am I saying it correctly?
I actually had to go look it up too because after I thought, okay, let me throw something at her that basically it's I believe it's a somebody who likes words, the ability to be able to uh, do word crafting, wordsmithing, extractions, play upon words. That's where humor comes from, obviously. So it's the ability to be able to use words to communicate effectively. That's storytelling is all about that. And so sometimes it's a play on words. And what's curious is that sometimes words in print don't translate quite nicely or as effectively into an audible. We've actually had our audible guy Derek uh, contacts thing. I know what you're trying to do here, but I can't do it verbally. You said, it worked in print, but Jesus, Charles, this isn't going to work. I'm like, oh wow, dude, you got me on that one. I hadn't thought about that, and uh, uh, so it's important to be able to understand the limitations, but at the same time, what else can you do with it? Where can you push the envelope? Because that's the fun. I mean, if you're just doing the same old boring stuff, which we refuse to do, um, you know, the I would really hurt my feelings to have somebody say, "Oh, that's the same plot that you used on two shows ago, two books ago." No, no, it can't be that way. It has to be fresh all the time.
And so, to go down that vein just a little bit further, we have this ability to create words from acronyms. And so there are several acronyms that people will find within the series. And if they go to our website and download free stuff, because there's a free stuff area on the website, specialized terms is one of those areas. And in fact, our super computer that has a life of his own is actually an acronym. His name is Ichabod.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's important to understand we like to poke fun at our profession as well. If you've ever gone to a tech conference or gone to a webinar where they slip into an acronym hell, and you're like, they're speaking in tongues. I don't understand what they're talking about, and that's characteristic of the tech world. Whether it's this arrogance of if you don't know all the acronyms I'm going to use, you're not cool like me. And so we've taken the approach like that's nonsense, that's silly, and um, so we poke fun at that, and sometimes we come up with acronyms like Ichabod or Pop Tarts. And Ichabod is our supercomputer, self-actualized, self-aware, trying to learn humor, and it stands for Immersive Collaborative Associative Binary Override of Deterministic Systems, which means almost nothing. But it's fun to be able to call him that because uh, he's actually a live entity in our minds anyway. That uh, actually has some banter back and forth, and um, even poses some questions that brings his founders up short, going, "I hadn't thought of that." So that kind of exploration for the characters with their analog, human, or digital, like Ichabod, is important.
well, I really like acronyms. Like, as you guys can see, I have the TEA, right? And the TEA stands for Teaching Education Awareness for Miss Liz. But I want to know what it means for my guests. So I'm going to start with Roxanne. What is your T?
I just love this whole idea, and I really do enjoy acronyms a lot, Miss Liz. So for me, it means thoughtful, energetic, and artistic.
Ooh. Could you explain why you picked those words?
I think it's because it's how I feel most of the time. I'm either thinking about something, or I'm not doing something, or I'm creating something. And it's kind of how I roll. And so for me, this particular acronym really, really resonated. Um, I liked it a lot. So thank you for letting me have this opportunity, Miss Liz.
Oh, not a problem. I love strong teas, and I love when I get a different tea because, not one tea is the same. We can use the same words, but it means different for each and every one of us. And that's why I get the guests to explain what their tea means and why they use these words, because sometimes the words are different for different individuals. So now let's get Charles' tea. So what are you serving tonight, Charles?
From a tea standpoint, I have a marked preference for uh, technical, enigmatic approach.
Ooh, I've never had those words. Now tell me why those words.
Um, I do analysis for a living. They pull me in for because there's Charles, we don't understand this. Tell me how we get past this. Tell me what I don't understand. Give me the background information and then help me work through this puzzle, this enigma. Uh, and my world is all about the technology, but at the same time, it has greater implications for how do you apply this little mini microcosm of information to a larger, broad brush stroke, where people can say, I can apply that lesson here. I see. Okay, and so part of what that helps generate is teaching aids for me mentally to be able to push to somebody and say, here's how you solve that problem.
Oh, did I lose you guys?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I just got like a quiet moment. I was like, "Oh, it went dead quiet. That's not a good thing."
No,
Well,
we're good.
it's important. It's important for me not to blather on minute after minute, because like even I get tired of me. So
I want to get into the technology because your books are based on a lot of technologies. How do you guys feel about the AI technology?
So AI is a technology that we started exploring in the big books in the Enigma series, and we did it with books 11 and 12. And so we really focused on artificial intelligence being leveraged without guardrails. And what I mean by that, and Charles, you can jump in and correct me in a second, but if we just let machines decide what's going to happen based on their inputs, if the inputs are flawed, or if people believe them 100% of the time without really fact checking, then I think we give up our future to machines, and we lose our own ability to think and decide.
we actually used a story inside of book 12 that to highlight this the topic that Roxanne's talking about, because it's very subtle, and it's very there's very polarized in the discussions. But there is a sequence where Quip, the architect for the supercomputer Ichabod, is there. He's giving teaching assignments, and he's given teaching assignments the night before, and the class he's got like 4 kids, and they're like 2 of them are like, okay, what do we need to do now, teacher? And the other 2 are like, are you kidding me? This is stupid. The usual. And what's curious about it is he actually makes the contest. He goes, so his statement is, so nobody did the homework? And the 2 young ones say, we did. We wanted to learn the algorithms. We wanted to learn the how you be able to solve this problem. And the 2 older ones like, I can have a computer do that. Why should I spend my time doing that? And it's a microcosm of the lesson that we want to be able to portray. And so Quip goes, okay, so let's do a contest. I'm going to have the people, have everybody in the audience. There's only 4 of them there. And I'm going to give you a problem, and I'm going to have you compete against the supercomputer behind me, Ichabod. And of course, the 2 older ones are like, I'm not going to win against that. How can I possibly win? And of course, the 2 young ones are like, all right, give it to me. So he puts the problem out, and the 2 kids work feverishly over seconds, and like after 30 seconds, they're like, okay, done. And they present their findings. And the two older ones are like, well, this is ridiculous. Yeah, and they put the supercomputer puts the answer for the problem up on the screen, and the two kids show theirs, and they're different. And the older kids are laughing, deriding the young ones. He goes, see, they got it wrong. And Quip smiles at them and says, you missed the point completely. They did the homework. You didn't. They know the formula. You don't. How do you know that answer is correct? Well, that's a supercomputer. Why wouldn't it be cute? Hey, and the supercomputer then announces, I gave the wrong answer, like you asked, Quip, Dr. Quip. And the two young ones had got it right because they'd done the homework, and the two older ones are embarrassed beyond belief because they're like, well, the supercomputer was wrong. He goes, he lied to you. You believed he was better than you were. You're wrong. And that lesson is the heart
Yep.
of the 2-book series. Don't trust the don't to Rox's point. Don't abrogate your heritage. Don't give away your birthright simply because a supercomputer can do something faster. We always laugh about the supercomputers, or any computer. They give very fast, very accurate mistakes. And so that's exactly what is highlighted. And if you don't know how an answer should be derived, if you don't know the theorem, if you can't prove that, then how do you know you're being lied to? And that is the very heart of the AI wars.
With that and making choices. You know, you have a choice, Miss Liz. You have a choice to have a wonderful show, to be able to extract different information from your guests and share them with your audience. Everybody's different. You don't know what's going to happen,
Exactly.
but you have enough faith in your human people that are here that you know no one's going to be outrageously ignorant and blow everything. I mean, you have that inbred faith. So you're making a choice, but you do it from your experience. And that's the whole point. We don't want to give up choices. We want to be able to, even if we stub our toe, at least own it and move forward and get better.
Agreed.
I really love that because we really do have to still, at the end of the day, make that choice, right?
We should. I don't want to just walk away and say, oh, the machine did it. No problem.
So being in technology, both of you guys, for so many years, we're not going to give the years away, but for so long, what have you learned over the years from the beginning of your journey to now about technology?
You want to go first, Roxanne?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. What I've learned is it's all old news. I've got technical documentation, engineering specifications, and I've been certified on platforms you've never heard of. They all died. They all got displaced. They all move forward. There's always something new. There's always a new bauble that shows up. Oh, this will do it better. This will do it faster. Oops. What I meant to say was it'll do it faster, cheaper, smarter. We used to have in the small programming shop I was in many years ago, a big sign on the wall that says, good, fast, cheap, pick any two. And that's important because a lot of technology comes along. It's like, okay, this is too expensive. This is too cheap. This is too fast and too complicated. And so you see this navigation of between platforms. Every 18 months, everything gets refreshed. It gets more expensive, harder to understand. There's nothing that is stagnant in my world. So if you're not adapting, you're falling behind, and that's the worst place to be for a technologist.
I think the other thing is technology is designed typically with a focus on what problem it's going to solve. It seems to be we have a real ability as humans to take that wonderful capability that was delivered by some brilliant person who solved a problem, be it medical or business or whatever the problem is. Somebody else is going to come along behind and twist it on its ear to do something evil. So we just seem to be able to focus on that. And I that makes me angry. So sometimes technology makes me angry. I love it and I do use it, but it's not the end all be all.
You still need to be able to weigh in and say, I don't think this is correct. All the empirical data that you can feed into the human mind or to a computer doesn't matter if it's not ethically correct. And that's where we post those challenges. That's where our good guys like, no, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's where we get those cyber thugs from the dark net hacking into systems and say, I bought this information from somebody that we built it so I could hack into systems and extort money. Didn't anybody teach you that was probably a poor idea, or that was unethical, or there's no reason to be able to do that to harm other people? Take an entire hospital offline. Take the pipeline system on the east coast of the United States offline because you could. That's interesting and fun. What a sad individual that must be.
We had a really funny thing happen, Liz, that I need to share with you because I know that you are an author as well. So we actually have a later book than the one we're talking about tonight. In fact, it just released at the end of April, and it's the first book in the brand new series that we're releasing. And what was interesting about doing that is we sent it around to several different groups and places to do reviews before it actually released. So while it was in pre-order, it went around to get reviews and get commentary on it. And thankfully, it's done very well. But we got this one review back. And we both looked at it and went, what in heaven's name were they reading? So the book review had absolutely nothing to do with that book and the fact that it was a new series, and everything to do with other characters that played a major role from the old series.
Wow.
So I did a little test on getting a review myself online, using one of the little free tools that you can get that will give you an AI answer to almost anything. And I got a very similar review because it pulled data from all of these places, but it never read that book because it hadn't been published.
Wow.
It was a very much of an eye-opening event. We both caught it. We both stormed at the reviewer. They went, I got 8 other authors in the same boat with you, furious that it doesn't match. I said, why do you have reviewers working for you that didn't read the material and they have a side hustle? This is the pointed question. They have a side hustle and they just dumped it into the AI chatbot and it said, here, this looks pretty good. And yeah, nice review, but if you know.
And it was a really nice review. It was worded correctly, grammatically, it was stellar, and it was great from as an author getting that kind of a review, it's like, yeah.
But it's cheating. That's what we couldn't take.
Yeah. And I'm all about that. I'll call you out. I don't care if you're the Prime Minister of the United States. If you're doing wrong, I'm going to call you out on it. There's so much shade going on. Like, where's the ethics? Where's the morals and values in humanity, right?
Exactly.
That's one of my passions. So you'll get my hand swinging, Charles, for that, because okay. I am a big call out for anyone who's shady. Like,
All right.
There's
Uh,
enough shade in the world. Why do we have to add more shade to it, right?
yeah. So Liz, let me ask you a personal question. Maybe I missed this topic. We have a prime minister here in the U.S. You said
No,
prime
you have a
minister.
president. You
Oh,
have a
I
prime
thought you.
minister in
Oh,
Canada.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought you said prime
I'm in
minister U.S.
Canada, so
Right.
I'm prime minister for me.
Okay. All right. Now I get it. All right. All right. All right. All right. I was a little like, gee, I haven't done civics for a while. Maybe I missed something. Yeah.
No, because I'm in Canada, so we have prime minister. In
Okay.
in
All
the
right.
States, you do have a president.
All right. All right. You caught me off guard on that one. I went, whoa.
I was like,
Okay.
where's he going to go with this? I want to ask you a question. When you get asked that, sometimes you're like, oh, where are they coming? What are they coming for? Like,
Yeah.
you know, uh, so I want to get a little bit more into all of your hobbies and stuff because you guys have amazing, amazing hobbies. Uh, Wine tasting, winemaking, all of that good stuff. So, what got you into that, Charles?
Honestly, in my parents' house many years ago, we had several fruit trees, and we had this one apricot tree that went berserk. We had like bushels of apricots come off of it. My dad surprised me one day. He goes, I don't know what we're going to do with all these, but let's go make wine. I went, okay, um, fine. And after we did that, some of the best apricot wine I've ever had. I That last bottle, I nursed it along for at least 10 minutes. I'm telling you. Anyway, but after the apricots were gone, my dad said, "Let's do mead." Honey wine. It's an old, and we got into this characterization of the okay, I want a nice clear liquid. We want not the frothy stuff that the Brits had in the 12 1300s, whatever they started. It was first recorded as doing that, and we got. I got really hooked on being able to make honey wine, which at one point we said, "Hey, let's turn this into a business." And it never went very far, but more than a hobby. But it was a fun exercise being able to take something, recombined it. I guess it's the storytelling attribute that this is sort of the genesis for it. But build something out of components that don't normally get put together unless you're a skilled craftsman. So it kind of helped create the mindset for me to be able to work with Rox, the genius, on the call on the writing that we have, and to be able to come up with these terrific stories and ideas.
Well, and as you're explaining the winemaking and all of that, it's almost like the components of technology, right? You need to have those zeros and ones and add and remove and
Yeah, yeah,
right. So there's
yeah,
like a little bit of technology in also making and winemaking.
absolutely, yeah.
So Rox, we didn't really get any hobbies from you with the information I was sent. So what kind of hobbies do you have, girl?
So, I sew and I cook. I absolutely adore cooking, especially baking. And I don't like to eat it. So I always have to get somebody to come sample for me to see if it's any good.
So she bakes the cookies and you eat the cookies.
She makes some of the world's best blueberry muffins. They are in demand by at least three more continents after this one. So just so you know.
But I do love to cook, and I like to bake. I do breads, I do soups and all sorts of things. That's kind of my fun, and I work out a lot of things in my mind while I'm cutting onions.
See, and again, it's the components, right? The baking, the ingredients, and all of that. And that's what when we look at different things, it's like when people say, Miss Liz, I'm coming, I don't like tea. I'm like, you don't even have to drink the tea. You just come with your own serving and blend and flavor, right? So it's like when you're cooking and sewing and all, you're adding your own colors and flavors that you like and then putting it together. And it's like the winemaking, right? You're adding the flavors and the sugars and the honeys and we overlook the little things in life, and we have to really start looking at the little components and understand. And it's like the AI, don't trust it. because it might be a floppy batch of wine or a bad muffin because you added too much of this or too much of that, right?
That's
Because you're
right.
listening to the recipe that was given to you. Uh, I know I've tried the AI for a lot of things, and I'm like, no, that's not what I believe.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
that is
That ain't me, man. That ain't me, man. Okay, I ain't doing that. That wouldn't be, man.
But it's like any other piece of technology. There are elements of it that can be used well, but it's not a tool that I want to give to an eighth grader to be able to create all the papers and research that they need to do to be able to learn the how to do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like it's got to be, it's got the guardrails are important, you know,
right. Yep.
and parents need to apply those guardrails.
Yes, absolutely. So we're almost up at the hour. Oh my God, this time is flying by so fast. I want to get into your colors because I love asking this question. What is your favorite color? And I believe, Charles, you gave me blue. So why blue?
Well, blue is that's what I put on this morning. So that's kind of what I showed up. But to be fair, there's also silver and black colors that are important, and allow me to be able to highlight that with a, a mystery guest that I'm going to bring in here. And so, because it is
It is May the 4th be with you.
May
It
the
is.
4th be with you, and here he is, Shorth Vader.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
And I call him Shorth Vader because nobody can see how short you are in space. Let me prove it. See how short he is? My
Oh my
God.
goodness, he is a shorty.
Yeah.
He's
So
like me.
again,
I'm only 5 feet. I'm a little shorty too.
all right.
Me too.
Yeah. But he's got the lightsaber, so I don't give him a whole lot of grief. Okay.
Absolutely love it. And who knew, right, that the force would be with you? Like, see, you just never know what my guests bring to the table. So you
Uh,
always have to just tune in and check it out. You
yeah.
know, Roxanne, you gave me the color purple. So why purple?
I think because purple is at the edge of that spectrum of color that you get on a really perfect rainbow. And I just think it's just fun. It's you know, some people think it's like an old-fashioned color, whereas when you see a violet in the springtime, it's not. It's absolutely gorgeous, and that's all. Just like it.
See, and I love this because I love when my guests have a reason why they like colors. Because without the colors and understanding of why we enjoy things, how do
Yep.
we actually move forward, right? How do we say, well, no, I like black today, I like yellow tomorrow? We're allowed to change, but we all have this color that really just resonates with us for a reason, and draws us in. So, and then that's what happens with my guests. My guests just draw in all of these different surprises and everything. Look at the little shorty. I love the little shorty and all of that. It is truly amazing how you just never know who's coming to Tea Time. So check out Tea Time, and any final words or any message that you guys would like to share. So I'm going to start with you, Roxanne, and I'm going to jump into Charles with the little shorty for the May the Fourth be with you.
So one thing I want to share with your audience, Liz, because it's just a fun thing that we are doing for this year. Anyone, anywhere who wants to read any of our stories and post a review on Amazon or Goodreads or BookBub, and they share the link to their review on our website, right on the front page of our website, there's a little raffle copter, and they put it in. We are drawing for $25 gift cards every single month.
Wow, look at that. My guests even come with little prizes and giveaways. So check them out. I Roxanne and Charles, I really, really enjoyed tonight's tea because when we have these open, authentic conversations and dialogue, we actually do spill and we make a mess, but we make a good mess. So Charles, I want to get into any final words that you have with the little shorty guy because he's so cute. I think I might want to date this one.
I think you ought
Yeah.
to hear him talk. Can you make him talk? Is he
Well,
still?
I actually I can. I think let's see.
Sometimes he's shy, but you know. He's awfully shy today.
He's playing
Did you get?
shy. He's had a big day.
Yeah. So, what a kid magnet this thing is. I mean, at the book fairs, people come by, and you know, it's funny because when I first saw him at a comic book convention, there was a guy there. You know, he's like, okay, I said, how much for that item? He goes, oh man, you can't afford this. And we went through for 2 days. How much you want for him now? Nobody would buy him for the price tag he had him. And by the time we got to the day that we're okay, everybody's loading up, we're all moving out. He's carrying this out. He's obviously upset, annoyed, irritated. And I caught him just as he's getting out off the elevator, trying to get to his car. I said, one last time, let me buy it from you. He goes, here, $40, take it. I went, whoa. I sprained my arm getting the money out of my pocket. Okay, I'm honest. There it is. So, but he's part of our culture. He's that dark side that I like having close by because that's who I'm fighting with all the time. The dark net, the bad actors, the people that are like, let me take and distort something that was meant to be good, and you figured out a way to be able to extort money from people on this. He reminds me that the dark net, the force, has an evil side, and so I need to be reminded of that when I'm writing, when I'm working at for the company that employs me, and it's always keep the bad things close by to be able to remind you. It's up to you to be able to drive the good side forward.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you guys. This was an honor. And this was like, oh my God, best way to celebrate the first week of May, right? And who knew that you had little shorty darky, on May 4th? Like, it was like a big surprise to me. And, my guests just always surprise me. They always amaze me, and they always bring a good, strong cup of tea. So if you'd like to know more about Roxanne and Charles, where can they reach you guys?
I think the best place is our website, Ms. Liz. So enigmaseries.com or enigmabookseries.com. Again, post those reviews, sign up for our monthly newsletter, get samples of the stories out there in both the written format and some audible samples, because Derek Scholes is a rock star.
Awesome.
Well, and also if somebody wants signed copies of the hard copies, we have it available as well.
Awesome. So you did mention, before we wrap up, you mentioned audiobooks. So you guys have audios too?
Yeah,
Yes,
all
ma'am.
the novels are in audiobook format. Yep.
Awesome. So look at there. If you can't read, you can hear it. So there's a way to get it. Well, I want to really thank you guys for joining me tonight on Tea Time. And I want to thank all of my guests that I had on today. It was a full day of Thursday. And we're going to do the same thing next week, but 3 different stories. And who knows, maybe different countries. Today was all U.S. Next week, I think I have U.S. again. And I think I might be going to a different country. So you'll have to tune in and check out Miss Liz's Facebook page for all that good stuff. And if you'd like to see all of these tea times for the last 4 seasons, there's over 200 tea times. You can check out Miss Liz's YouTube. Give it a quick subscribe bell, and you can watch at any time you want, and you watch them at your own pace. And if there's a tea time that resonates with you, I highly suggest you share it with a friend, a family member, or just somebody that's in the community that you might feel that needs that tea time, because there's topics of all choices. We have PG and we have rated R. So there are a lot of different types of tea. Miss Liz opens that cup and I spill and I make a mess. So again, I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I want to thank all of my listening audience and supporters. And if you're watching replay, push hashtag replay and where you're tuning in from, because I always like to hear where you're coming in from. So I can give you a shout out for that as well. And I want to give a big shout out to Mickey Mickelson from Creative Edge for bringing you guys to my table and serving. Check him out as well. He's doing amazing work. So again, thank you all. And I will see you guys all next week, next Thursday, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. with 3 strong teas. You guys don't leave. I'm just going to wrap up the live.
All right. Awesome. An honor being here, Miss Liz.
Thank you, Liz. Appreciate it.